Bum, 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 bum. Hey everybody, welcome to the Tuesday edition of the Blue Review presented by LAX. I'm Marcus Grant with Greg Bergman and Parker Bell. The gang's back together. It's been a while, I feel like, since we've all been in the same place in a while.
It has. It's good to have everyone. We got the lasers back. It's a good day. And by the way, you know that we do this bendy every morning. And I don't know if I told you guys, because last week we had Daniel Starkand of Dodger Blue and Lakers Nation on. And he thought that Tenacious D was a TV show he hasn't seen yet.
Oh, no.
Well, there was an HBO show back.
Yes,
in the day,
there was, but he had no idea. He's like, oh, I haven't seen that show. Like, no, it's a band. Stop. Let's move forward because this is not happening.
I mean, you didn't tell him, like, did you tell him, like, that's what gave us Jack Black? That is how Jack Black was introduced to the world?
So Jack Black, Kyle Gass, that's what it is. And he goes, yeah. I'm like, okay, we're moving on.
Listen.
It was very disappointing. Kids these days.
Daniel, kids these days. The bendy's for everyone. For all those who want to bendy with us, you may bendy with us.
You absolutely may bendy with us. Hey, first off, we're going to give a shout out to the folks at LAX, as we always do. They are saving guest time, transforming the travel experience. Looking forward to the People Mover train when it gets running, hopefully early next year. If you need more information, you can go to flylax.com/transforminglax. I know we'll get to the Dodgers. They had an off day last night. They're back in action tonight against the Chicago White Sox. But before we dive into that, happy Bobby Bonilla Day, guys.
Bobby Bonilla Day. How many years has it been going on now? It feels like he retired in like 04 or somewhere around there. I don't even know.
His last season was 2001 was his last season.
Even longer. So 24 years of Bobby Bonilla Day so far.
It's nearly as old as me. Just 4 years younger than I am.
All right. I mean, for those of you who somehow don't know, just in case, the New York Mets, when they signed Bobby Bonilla back in when they signed him back in the mid 90s, early 90s, they had to find a way to pay him what was then a really exorbitant salary, which nowadays I think would probably be like the cost of a utility infielder or something like that. But back then, 30 some odd years ago, it was a big deal for the Mets. They had their money tied up in what ended up being an illegal Ponzi scheme by a guy named Bernie Madoff. But to somehow work this thing out, they worked out a deal where they deferred the payments to Bobby Bonilla over an extended period of time. So every year on July 1st, Bobby Bonilla gets just over $1 million for basically existing.
Good. And you were saying that he has more like another 5-10 years left?
10 years. Yeah. I was
10 years.
Somebody, I have friends, we all text happy Bobby Bonilla Day. And I was like, well, it's almost over, right? And I Googled and like, no, it goes till 2035. So
that's out of control.
So the Mets are still paying for it.
The funny thing about that, I don't know if it's funny, is that sooner or later this is going to become Shohei Ohtani Day. But except that Shohei Ohtani Day is worth $60 million every single year. So
yes,
it's a little different.
That's why, as a Dodger fan, I'm getting these jokes in now because it's not going to be nearly as funny in a few years when the Dodgers are paying out.
Can you imagine in 10 years when he does start paying off these and people are texting you like, happy $60 million day.
Like,
and then that's with everybody else too. Let's talk about the Mookie and Freddie. And
the upside is the Dodgers at least got a World Series out of Shohei, at least one. We'll see what happens. I mean, there's still 9 more years left of Shohei Ohtani on this contract. So hopefully it's not just the one, but they already got better return on their investment than the Mets did with Bobby Bonilla.
All it took was 1 year.
All it took was 1 year.
All it took was one.
Oh, that's it. So anyway, the Dodgers go into action tonight against the Chicago White Sox. And Parker, I know we talked about it for a while, right? That big death march. And we sort of joked about Bill Plaschke saying the Dodgers, by the end of it, we're going to be out of playoff contention. Here we are on July 1st. And the Dodgers have a 7.5 game lead in the division over the Padres, 8 game lead over the Giants. And it does feel like right now, I mean, they've had, they had the 5-1 road trip. They've got the White Sox coming in. This feels like a real opportunity, Parker, for the Dodgers to put some real serious distance between themselves and everybody else in the division.
Well, I mean, it's just that. And I think that that stretch that you talked about, Marcus, was what put the distance between them. Once they got through that, once they got through June with, was it maybe 6 series winning streak?
Mm-hmm.
I want to say around there.
It is right now. Yeah, 6.
That is telling the league, and that is telling everybody who's watching the Blue Review, telling everybody who's not watching the Blue Review, this team's not to be messed with. Whether you got pitching staff who's hurt, whether you have guys who are struggling, even like Mookie Betts, you're learning that it almost doesn't matter. Of course, anything happens in the playoffs, and knock on wood, but this team, it just continues to move and move. They're leading the MLB, I think, in runs per game, among the top when it comes to home runs. It's exactly what we thought would happen this season. It's just happened in an interesting way, Greg.
yeah, it is. It was a weird way for it to happen, but yeah, that basically broke San Francisco and the Padres when they won all 3 of those series. That essentially broke them. They started getting swept by the Marlins. They're losing to teams that they really shouldn't be losing, and the Dodgers didn't even play last night and still added more space because they both still lost. Both teams the Padres are 5-5 in their last 10, and the Giants are 3-7 in their last 10. They just completely fell apart in June. Usually this is the time where Dodgers have that June gloom. This is very much a June gloom for the Padres and the Giants right now. And if you look at the Diamondbacks, they're 500. And so every team below them is in a tailspin, and they are now getting into the easiest part of their schedule. And not only the easiest part of their schedule, the easiest part of the schedule in baseball for this team. So if this isn't a great opportunity to get into that 10+ game lead, I don't know where else you're going to get it.
Yeah, I mean, it's wild too. I think a lot of it is, for me, the Dodgers, for as much as we've been frustrated with the way the pitching has gone and just having injuries and that sort of thing, the pitching staff has really, for the most part, stepped up. The bullpen has gotten a lot better from where they were, I would say, in April and May. We talked about how Wrobleski has been really good. Tanner Scott, it's a white knuckler, a lot of times when he steps out there on the mound, but more often than not, he's been getting the job done. Even guys, Kirby Yates, Anthony Bonda, these guys who've had up and down seasons really pitched well in the month of June. And then we know the offense. And I think the biggest thing, Greg, is that you look up and down the National League West, the Dodgers seem to be the only team that can consistently score runs. And that puts a big burden on the pitching staffs in San Diego and San Francisco, because those teams don't score. So now if you are a Padre pitcher or a Giants pitcher, you got to be perfect almost every time out, because you're only going to get 3, maybe 4 runs on any given night.
And this is the beauty of this Dodgers team and how they've been basically the same team for together for a while now. This is the consistency of playing together and knowing that they can win a World Series. They've been to the playoffs over and over again, that they know how to get through series and get through these seasons. Whereas teams like the Cubs, who were super hot and just was winning everything, they're now in a little bit of a tailspin themselves. They're not scoring as much. They're not winning as many games. They're on a little bit of a losing streak right now too. So it's just those types of teams that don't have that same experience that the Dodgers do, they start to drop and the Dodgers start to go up because they can handle these things. This is the beauty of what Andrew Friedman does. This is why he brings in so many big pitchers. This is why he brings in so many relief arms and just keeps just bringing guys up and down when it comes to like the Luis Garcias going up and down. It's to make sure that they get through this stretch and are in their best position by the time they get to the postseason.
I saw this in the chat yesterday. I meant to get to it and we ran out of time, but on June 30th, when the Dodgers woke up on June 30th of last year, they were 52-32. When they woke up on June 30th of this year, they were 53-32. Almost an identical record, year over year for this team. It has come sort of in a different way. We went through those stretches where we were all sort of freaked out. We were worried about the pitching. We've at times been worried about the offense. But in the end, the best team in baseball, at least the best team on paper in baseball, is the best team in baseball record-wise right now. So it's been absolutely amazing. Obviously, it's still a long way to go. We haven't quite hit the All-Star break yet. But everything's sort of coming together. And it's a reminder, Parker, of just how long the baseball season is. And I know that we do this show on a daily basis and we freak out about every little micro thing that goes wrong and that sort of thing. But man, Parker, there's so much that happens over the course of a season that I guess it's a reminder that sometimes we just need to take a deep breath and chill out a little bit.
And it's funny you mentioned that because I just recently did take a deep breath, hopped in LAX and went over to my buddy's wedding, and it still feels like, it felt like a long break, but at the same time, feels like I was on the Blue Review just yesterday. So MLB season, it's like a time warp, and it's just every single day there's something different. But that's also what we love about it. And when it comes to the Dodgers, just home record, I think they're maybe top 2. I know that Houston, for some reason, has an insane. Those trash tros have a great home record.
Trash tros.
Yeah, but it's just been a fun season, and that the fact that they've gotten to where they're at with all the nitpicking that we did earlier in the season, with all the shambles that some of the chat was in.
Shambles.
It's great. I mean, the bottom line, the Dodgers remain the flagship team in the league, despite other teams being hot, despite Detroit being hot. There's a strong field of contenders, but the Dodgers are doing exactly what they did last year, and it's looking like heavy favorites yet again, Greg.
Yep. No, yeah. I mean, there's no other way to put it. They are the heavy favorites. If you're the World Series champion, you are still the World Series champion the next year, and you have to get beat. They're still the best team in baseball. It's kind of interesting that Detroit is still in the spot that they're in right now. They have the exact same home and away record as the Dodgers and are just very much keeping pace. But that seems like a team that they were good last year at the end of the season. They got into the playoffs, had a chance to make it a little bit further. They got beat by the Yankees, but they are a team that could be something to be reckoned with. I just don't know if they're going to be another one of those teams that, like the Cubs, just can't hang with it for that long. Whereas the Dodgers, they're going to hang with it the entire way through the season.
Yeah, that's my thing with the Tigers right now, is that they are playing great baseball. I'm not sold yet that this thing keeps. I mean, I think they win the division. I think they win the AL Central.
Yeah, that one's basically done.
They win the AL Central. But when they get to the playoffs, I mean, you look at that pitching staff. Yeah, they've got Tarek Skubal, who's fantastic,
amazing.
Everybody else is kind of a question mark. Old pal Jack Flaherty not having a really great year right now. A whole lot of names that probably the average person outside of Detroit doesn't really know. So I think Spencer Torkelson. Look, after that series early in the year here in LA, I don't ever need to see Spencer Torkelson ever.
No, that was enough Torkelson in my life.
Which is why he's only hitting 230, but he does have 17 home runs.
Were those all against the Dodgers?
Probably. It feels like they were. I don't ever need to see that dude ever again. So, but anyway, that is neither here nor there. It will be a long time, if ever, before the Dodgers and Tigers have to worry about facing off with one another. In the meantime, speaking of the AL Central, the bottom-feeding White Sox come to town, 28-56, 24 and a half games out of first place. So they're making a run, guys.
Hey, they've won 2 in a row.
Hey, they're getting hot. Bad news. Well, I mean, I sort of jokingly say bad news for the Dodgers, but it's Yamamoto on the mound today, guys.
Oh boy.
Right? And I saw that. I think I don't know who I missed it in the chat. Let me see if I can and find it. Chrissy's saying how many runs of support do you think Yamamoto will get for today? I mean, that's always a question, right?
You gotta hope that it's a little more than 1 this time, because it was none. It was none in the last one. So,
well, I guess it was
no.
They got a run. They got runs in the top of the 6th, and then he didn't come out for the bottom of the 6th inning. So right. I guess technically he got 4 runs? I think of run support.
That was the rain game, right? Where it was where Muncy popped in the air and it just dropped in front. Dropped in front. Yeah,
2 runs. He got 2 runs, and then they stopped the game for rain, and then when everything came back, it was the bullpen.
Yeah, I mean, he pitched great. I mean, no matter what, he pitched great in that game. Yeah. So hopefully that is what continues, and that I'm trying to just look it up while you guys can talk while I'm looking up. I just want to see the home and away record. Here it is. So home, his much, I don't want to say better. Hold on. Yeah, no, he's actually worse at home, if you want to be honest. He has a 3.71 ERA at home and a 1.57 away. He also is 5-2 away and 2-4 at home. So really, he's not great at home. His WHIP is so much, 1 point almost 3 at home and 0.8 away. So the friendly confines of Dodger Stadium, not so friendly for Yoshinobu Yamamoto.
Yeah, I mean, nearly 2 runs or fewer in nearly half your starts when you're a team who's averaging 5.6, as we mentioned earlier in this episode. So you can see that you look at his losses. In the 6 of the 6 of them, 4 of them, the Dodgers scored one or less. It's not really about bad outings. It's just offensive blackouts when he's on the mound.
Which is sort of amazing.
It's
Ruben Flores says Dodgers about to make the White Sox pitcher look like a Cy Young candidate.
Shane Smith. Shane Smith is who we're going.
Smith, 3-5 this year, a 3.38 earned run average.
11 of those runs in the last 2 starts, I think.
Yeah. He had.
Your White Sox. Look at you.
Apparently, he gave up 5. He gave up 5 in 2 innings against the Diamondbacks last week. The start before that, he gave up 5 runs, 5 earned runs in 4 1/3 against the Cardinals. He did hold the Astros to 1 run over 6 innings, so I don't know. Go figure.
and Detroit to 0 runs over 5 1/3. So it's
So
against
the
bad teams.
Against bad teams, he gets lit up. So that means he really might look like a Cy Young candidate against the Dodgers. Against the Dodgers tonight. Lineup wise, we talked about this a little bit yesterday, Greg. I mean, with Miguel Rojas and the finger, and he's sort of day to day right now. Do we have an expectation? Shane Smith is a right-hander. Question of the day: will we see Haseong Kim get a start in the ball game?
Man, I would love to see Haseong Kim get the start in this game, and for Dave to be honest for once and say that when he says that he wants him to keep playing and to be able to keep his to keep going how he's been going, to actually do with that. Because would you be surprised at all if it's Conforto in left field and Kike Hernandez is at second base? I wouldn't. I think that's exactly what's going to happen. I think Kike is going to get another at bat. I know it's not against the lefty, and that's where they want him against, but it just seems like any chance that they have to not play. And also Kike hit a home run in the last game. So any chance to not play Kim is what it seems like is going on right now. And it's very strange to me.
I can't figure it out. It is one of the biggest mysteries of the season right now is why Haseong Kim can't get more opportunities, can't get more at bats. And I feel like Dave Roberts doesn't really have a great explanation beyond because I said so, right? Because,
Right.
I mean, every explanation, every time he's asked about Kim, he's incredibly complimentary. He keeps saying he's doing everything we ask. He deserves more playing time. He's earned more opportunities, and yet somehow he doesn't get those more opportunities. I can't figure it out. I don't know.
This one's got to be. It's got to be today. I mean, it really does have to be today because you're going up against a righty, so that shouldn't put Kike in there. Miguel Rojas can't play because of the finger. Every sign should point to him playing, and now that I say that, it's not going to be him.
Yeah, I mean, he has constantly showed signs of being a dynamic, impactful, everyday player, and we just don't get that. He's over-delivered as a rookie. He's a contact-first guy with speed, which the Dodgers need to continue manufacturing those 5 runs a game. It's very upsetting, and I know that the chat's upset about it. I mean, you're seeing a rookie burst that's, I think, at this point, he's slashing over 300 still, I think. And it's tough. It's tough. I mean, it really makes me break down. I'm like, why aren't we seeing the best players on the field at all times? And you answered it perfectly, Greg.
Yeah,
because I said so.
Because I said so.
Yeah, I think there's one chance to get him to play because they want to see him clapping every time Yamamoto throws a strike. I think it really helps Yama, feel good about himself and feel that love behind him because every single time, every pitch he throws a strike, Kim's back there clapping for him. So
they are besties. For all those in the chat, Ohtani and Yamamoto were once besties, but now Ohtani has become the teacher. And Yamamoto and Haseong have become the besties, so that's always fun to watch.
That was very cool.
Put him on the field for Yamamoto.
Put him on the field for Yamamoto for sure. He's been fantastic, so hopefully he gets a start tonight. We will see. Last few minutes before we get out of here, though, wanted to kind of turn our attention because the second stage of All-Star voting resumed yesterday. So you got yesterday and you have today to vote for any Dodgers that are there. Now, right now, and I'm looking at this right now, the Dodgers have a chance to set a record by sending 8 position players to the All-Star game. At this point, Ohtani is going to be there. Will Smith looks like he's pretty much a lock. Freddie Freeman should be there as well.
In Atlanta.
It's in Atlanta. Like, Freddie Freeman's going to be there.
Yeah.
But, Tommy Edman is in the running. He made it to the next round. Mookie Betts, Max Muncy made it to the next round. Muncy, I think, pretty much on the strength of a really ridiculous June that he had. But the biggest one, the one that we all need to get behind, is Andy Pages. We got to make that happen, right? Oh, I should mention Teoscar Hernandez also in the running. I think he is second right now behind Pete Crow Armstrong. But right now, Andy Pages amongst outfielders is number 1, 2, 3, 5. Behind,
moving up.
He's moving up for sure.
Uh-oh.
We got to stuff the ballot boxes. I think you can vote a couple times. Maybe you just dummy up a fake email address or something like that and try to vote a couple more times. Guys, we got to get Andy Pages to the All-Star game. I can't think of anybody who's more deserving right now than he is.
Yeah, he does.
PCA.
I mean, PCA has been amazing. So if PCA gets in, like, he absolutely deserves to get in, to be honest. But vote Pages. I would actually, if you had to choose between Pages and Teo, who, by the way, I've made it very clear, Teo was my favorite Dodger last year. I still love him very much. Vote Pages over Teo at this point.
Teo this year is not an all-star. I mean, just being honest, obviously missed time with the injury, has not been the same guy since he came back. We talked about it on the show yesterday. He looks like he's still hurting in the outfield right now. He's not swinging a great bat. So I would vote Pages over Teo. Yep. And honestly, look, Ronald Acuna is going to make it on name value.
And
Atlanta, right? Mm-hmm. It's the home stadium. He's a guy who has star power without a doubt. But if we're just basing it on what Ronald Acuna has done this year, he's not an all-star.
Well, I mean, if we're going to say that Max Muncy is for his last month and Ronald Acuna is for his last month, he's been unbelievable.
No, but Max Muncy is a Dodger and Ronald Acuna is not.
Okay, so fair. Hey, totally fair. I'll take that back.
I mean, like, if we're being honest, no, I think the body of work over the season doesn't mean Max Muncy is an all-star. Like, I just think, if we're taking the whole first half of the season as a whole, no, he's not an all-star, no. But he was ridiculous in the month of June. I mean, look, as much as we all dislike Manny Machado, dude's having an amazing year and deserves to be.
He does not deserve. Never. Not Johnny Hustle does not belong in All-Star game.
Johnny No Hustle doesn't deserve to be there.
Jesus, this guy.
Yeah,
freaking guy.
Friggin' guy. But I mean, here, legitimately, I think the Dodgers for starters, Shohei as the DH, Will Smith behind the plate, Freddie Freeman over at first base should be starters, and maybe Andy Pages isn't an all-star starter, but he should be on the roster.
Sure. I mean, from April 20th to mid-June, I mean, there was Ohtani, Corbin Carroll, Pages, and that's not even being facetious or anything. That was just facts. And Pages deserves to be there. He's playing like he needs to be there. And vote Pages. I see y'all in the chat. Keep it up. We got till tomorrow. So
till tomorrow at 9 a.m. I believe that's 9 a.m. Eastern. So just vote overnight and that sort of thing and get that done
over and over and over
and over again. If you can, I don't know, program a bot or something to over and over again. Do that as well. So hopefully we can get Andy Pages to the All-Star game because he has had a fantastic season. A guy who, I'd say this, after the first 3 weeks or so, he looked like he was headed more to OKC than to Atlanta. So just an amazing turnaround after the start of the season for sure.
Vote Pages.
Vote Pages. Let's make this happen. All right, that'll do it for this edition of the Blue Review. This flew by today, fellas.
Very fast.
Presented by LAX. Back with you tomorrow. We will recap what happened to Dodger Stadium between the Dodgers and the White Sox. Hopefully Yama gets some runs, and we're going to preview what might be the ultimate Kershaw day as well.
Oh, I can't wait.
That's going to be a whole lot of fun as well. So stick around. Travis and DeMarco coming up next here on the ESPN LA YouTube channel. For Parker, for Greg, I am Marcus Grant. Thanks to everybody in the chat for hanging out with us as always. Back with you tomorrow here on the ESPN LA YouTube channel, 8:30 to 8:55 with another edition of the Blue Review. We'll see you then, everybody.
See ya.